Jimbo's Garage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Jimbo's Garage. Well, today I got a pretty cool little project. My neighbor's got this 14-foot inflatable boat that he uses, and most of the time there's a launch ramp where he can go and use the launch ramp facilities to get the boat in the water, but oftentimes there's not. And the option that he has is to lift it off the trailer and take it down to the waterfront, which isn't too bad, but it takes 4 guys. One man on each corner of the boat with one of these handles, lift it up and carry it to the waterfront, which isn't too bad. The boat's 350, 400 pounds with the motor on it, so not too bad with 4 guys. But he was thinking that if we had some wheels on this thing, the wheels would be able to retract down and 1 or 2 guys could easily wheel it out to the water. And when the boat's in the water, these wheels would retract back up and pin, and thought that'd be a good idea. Here's what it is. Here's what it looks like right here. This is the wheel. And ideally, there's some bracketry that goes with this, and it's going to mount something like this. And then these things are going to fold down and be able to be on the sand or dirt or whatever it is to get it out to the waterfront. And then when you're in the water, then they fold back up and retract in. So let me show you a little bit more about how that's going to work. Okay, well, I'm going to try to give you the best illustration I can here of what we have to do. We're going to be utilizing these 2 bolt holes right here. We're just going to be taking these 2 out, replacing them with some longer ones. The problem is this is a 2-inch square tube aluminum, and this is and it is welded to the back of the boat right here. So we need to first get a block to block this out, just flush to this, so the bracketry that we're going to use is going to be able to work right here. And that's what we've got right here. The owner has provided these 2-inch square, really hard plastic spacers, if you will, and he's already got them pre-drilled. So they're going to kind of go on something like this. A little bit of an angle here, and the same on the other side, a little bit of an angle. That's the way he chose to do it. And so that's our first step right there. Once we get that on, then our wheel bracketry can mount to the outside here. It's going to allow us clearance. It's going to allow us the clearance we need here. The problem is when the wheels are down, they're not long enough to actually cover the sponson you see down here at the bottom. So we're going to need to cut the square tube on the wheel assembly in half, add a 12-inch piece of 1.5-inch square tube stainless, and then re-weld it, and that'll get the tire way below the sponson on the bottom there, and therefore everything should work. So that's the plan. Let's see how it works. Let's get started. All right, so the first step is to take the stainless steel brackets that came with this wheel kit and drill them out and put some long bolts in there that are going to go through the plastic and then through the frame of the boat. Now, my idea was to do this and then put some carriage bolts through there. Well, that didn't quite work as planned. Okay, so I encountered the first problem here. I went ahead and drilled the holes in the bracketry right here to accept the bolts, and then I went ahead and broached this area out right here for the carriage, but still that's not going to be enough. This bolt needs to be flush to the inside right here in order for this bracketry to work the way it's supposed to work, and even flush up here. So the next game plan is to cut the head off of the carriage bolt, and then I will stick it through here. I will weld it from the front side right here, and then weld it from the back side, and then grind the back side flat, and then I think we'll accomplish what we needed to do. I was going to notch this part right here and this part right here, but I was afraid that was going to compromise the structural value of this square tube. Didn't want to do that too much, so I think this is the only and best option. So let's do it. So once I got all that figured out, this was step 2 here, and actually this is going to work pretty good, I'm pretty sure. So over to the portaband, a lifesaver, I'm telling you. I don't know what I ever did without the thing. But once I got everything done, got everything nice and squared on the bracket, and just using some stainless steel rod here. I think this is some 308 or some 309. I'm not certain. It's whatever I had right there. And, you know, stainless is
is kind of fun to work with. If everything's nice and clean, it is very fluid welding, and it's nice and clean. It's fun. So this is what I'm doing. Once I got everything nice and squared, I had to clean that inside out perfectly flat, and it's amazing how this is 1.25 inch square tube and my grinding wheel is 1 inch. That worked out perfectly. So the first dry fit right here into the plastic block fits pretty good, but I do have a gap in there that was from the welds, and I'm not really happy with that. And I want that bracket to fit flush and tight onto that piece of plastic block. So I thought I needed to open those holes up a little bit. So my plan was to drop in a big bit, and this is probably one of the biggest ones I have. It's about 1.125 inches or something like that. And I thought I would use it like a countersink, if you will. And that's what I did right here. It opened the holes up just like a countersink. Pretty cool. I thought that would work out pretty good, and you know, it did. I was able to slide that in, and it's really close. One more little adjustment right here, and there it is, perfectly flat. Really happy with that turned out. So now we're just going to go ahead and bolt it on here to this side of the boat, and we took the existing hardware out and put in the new. And there it is. It actually is perfect. It fits nice and flush with the 2-inch square tube frame of the boat. And so far, so good. Plan is working just as it should. You can see that it works. They're up and down, and there we are. So, well, the next step is to go ahead, now that I got that done on right and working on the one side, to go ahead and start on the other side. Now that I somewhat know what I'm doing, it should take a little bit quicker time. It's basically the same exact process I did before. You know, that stainless is really tough stuff too. It's hard, but nevertheless, got it done. The port have been money. All right, I'm jumping around a little bit right here. This is actually the 1-inch square tube stainless, and this is 0.95 thickness, and this is what we're going to be using for the spacer, the 12-inch spacer that we need to gain that extra length. So I just went ahead and cut those and deburred those, set those aside. We're going to be using those in a minute, and then I'm back on the second bracket right here. Yeah, it's just kind of repetitive stuff. I'm get through this as quick as I can for you, but just basically you know, showing you what happened here. We did all that, and there it is, a countersink in the next piece right there. That actually worked out pretty cool, by the way. That and this plastic block that my neighbor provided was really, I don't know much about plastic, but man, that stuff is really hard. So we're making progress. Next thing is to extend those things to get it past responses. See how we can make that happen. So here's the brackets. Now I was a little nervous, I gotta say. I didn't want to make any mistakes. I spent a lot of time figuring things out, measuring to be sure everything was going to work and I wasn't going to have any issues. You know, cutting this thing right here, it's like, oh boy, this is it. I'm in now. If I make a mistake, I'll have to order a whole new set of wheels. I didn't want to do that. So hopefully this thing works out. There it is. Pieced it together. Fit in there really nice, and tacked everything into position. Once I got everything tacked in, I'd be sure everything was nice and straight, and then I went ahead and just welded things out all the way around. And I gotta say, this is a lot cleaner than what my first idea was. I think my first idea was to put 1.25 inches over the top of that, and kind of big and bulky, and that's not something that I really thought would look good. So the option was this 1-inch square tube that would fit inside. I think it looks much cleaner. So just finishing up the welds right here all the way around. And again, you know, I gotta say, stainless is kind of fun to work with. If you get everything going right, it flows really clean. And I just thought I'd buff it up a little bit. It's not going to be painted. This is the finished product. I just wanted things to look kind of shiny. And, you know, it is what it is right there. And it's not going to rust. So we should be in good shape. Yeah, and there they are. Everything works really good. Good project. Glad everything worked out. You can see how smooth it works. Everything is great. Really happy with it.
Okay, so there it is. The boat wheel project is complete, and I gotta say it turned out just the way the customer wanted it. I added a safety feature right at the last minute right here, and it's basically it is a pin that goes through here that attaches to this ring bolt back here, and that allows this thing, when it's not in the water, or when it is in the water, that this thing doesn't bounce and come out, it locks it into position. So the idea with this right here is when it's on the trailer and you lift it off the trailer onto the ground, we'll simply take this pin out right here. These wheels go down, and the weight of the boat then engages those wheels in an up position, and it locks the wheels in position. And as soon as the boat is into the water, it takes the weight off the wheels, and then this thing is able to slide back up and back into position, and the lock will go back in here like that, and nothing will come out. So anyways, good little project. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more videos.
See you next time on Jimbo's Garage.